Well, I hope everyone who has tuned in for this episode of Smackdown is ready, because we know they have a tendency to go big when the time comes. You know the phrase, go big or go home? Well, it seems as if Smackdown always has a tendency for wanting to go big, and once again we've seen it here tonight. Much more on the cards for you here, and it should be a very interesting night of action, I think, with the Smackdown brand. But yeah, what a way to get things underway. This tag team match here involving two former world champions. Of course, they're on the same team, but on the other side, opposing them, you've got the current WWE tag, well, one half of the current WWE Tag Team Champions, and you've got the Intercontinental Champion and the King of the Ring in Kenny Omega. The list of accolades between the four men in this match, it's got a lot going for them. Cesaro certainly helps to increase that accolade as well. Triple Crown Champion, two-time ECW Tag Team Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champion as well. Cesaro's done so much within this universe, and he knows his range in tag team action as well. He knows how to perform in front of a, well, when it comes to a tag team matchup. Here comes a man, though, who's kind of not that similar with it, but there is certainly a common ground that himself and Cesaro share here, and that is looking to seek revenge for what transpired last week. The King of Strong Style, Shinsuke Nakamura, making his way out for the first time since we saw him at SummerSlam, since he lost his Intercontinental Championship to Kenny Omega, courtesy of the Good Brothers, of course. But of course, this is SmackDown where I'm a little bit more lenient, or a little bit more unbiased, and Nakamura, we can see, has shown that he's not done yet with Omega. He wants to carry on the fight. He wants to continue fighting all the way to the end with the cleaner of the Bullet Club. So we'll see how that one pans out. I certainly think the SmackDown committee should pay a little bit more attention to that one. There certainly is a lot of bad blood between those two men, and one that should be settled probably at the upcoming SmackDown pay-per-view, which is still some like 4 weeks away, I think, to the best of my knowledge. So long time to go there, and I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along the line, especially at the event as well, if not at the series finale at No Way Out, for the Intercontinental Championship between these two men. Nakamura, though, hasn't missed a beat, and you can tell in his entrance, trying to put what happened at SummerSlam past him, trying to focus on the future, trying to focus on reclaiming that Intercontinental Championship. But tonight he gets an opportunity to reclaim a little bit of a personal vendetta, I suppose you could say, over Kenny Omega and over the Bullet Club. Last week didn't go the best for them. Nick Jackson suffered a loss in singles action to Jay Lethal, who will also be in action later on tonight. But there is the iconic theme of the greatest group in professional wrestling today. And there, leading the charge on SmackDown, is the Elite. The nameplates come up wrong, but we'll let that one slide. Here they are anyway, the Elite. Put your hands up for them. Give him a too sweet. Omega, of course, in the center. Nick Jackson on the left and Matt Jackson on the right. The tag team champions, the Young Bucks, bringing up the rear, as Kenny Omega leads front and center down towards the ring. And there it is, the Elite logo on their attires there, on the Young Bucks jacket as well. Look, what a sight that is. Flurry of gold coming towards the ring. Every Bullet Club member has a championship to their name. And, yeah, that is just too sweet. Too sweet to even call. And I'm amazed on the outside. Meanwhile, Nakamura has been keeping himself relatively calm and in the zone. Surprised he hasn't wanted to act out yet, lash out on Kenny Omega yet, but maybe the 3-on-2 advantage, of course. One of the Young Bucks, I think it's Matt, will be at ringside for this one. And that extra man advantage could help them out in this one. You never know, the referee may get a little bit confused. Maybe some quote-unquote twin magic can be played, even though they're not twins, but we'll gloss over that one. So here we go, Nick Jackson going to start things off here against the King of Swing, Cesaro, and run straight into a back body drop there from a very frustrated Cesaro. In case you didn't see what happened last week, fill in the blanks for you following the matchup between Cesaro and Kenny Omega, which in itself was a very entertaining matchup. Cesaro certainly proved that he had enough to hang with the Intercontinental Champion, as you'd expect from a former ECW champion. But after the match was done, Kenny Omega took it upon himself to grab a steel chair and be ready to plant a few chair shots into Cesaro. If not for the aid of Shinsuke Nakamura, though, who came to the rescue and sent Kenny Omega outside of the ring and retreating backwards to the King of Strong Style. And that is why we got this tag team matchup here tonight to kick things off on SmackDown. And it seems as if Nick Jackson is not going to wait much longer to try and get Kenny Omega in this one. Counter by Cesaro, probably for the best. I mean, if you want to try and pick up an easy win in this matchup, you are going to go after Nick Jackson. He is the much smaller of the two. Much less durable, I imagine. Much less resilient in comparison to Omega. But if Cesaro wants a measure of revenge, then surely you'd also want to see Omega tagged in the ring. I think that would probably be one of the best methods you could go for. Good counter there by Nick Jackson. And here we go. Kick in the gut and a little ticket. And a little ode, so you could say, maybe, to Kevin Owens. With a package pile driver. Cesaro now with Nick Jackson in his own corner. Doesn't look to be showing any intentions on wanting to make a tag in his Shinsuke right now. Kind of showing how these two men don't really operate as a tag team, whereas we see Nick Jackson now on more than one occasion trying to make that tag. But here we go. First time round, and it's a success. Nakamura tagged in, and we're going swinging Cesaro with a Cesaro swing on Nick Jackson, and brought to a halt by the hard-hitting feet of Shinsuke Nakamura with that dropkick. Nick Jackson in a world of trouble here, and that means that if he needs to get out of the ring, and if he needs to make this, just hang on a little bit so he can be used later in the match, he has got to tag in Kenny Omega. And that means Nakamura can get his hands on a measure of revenge, and he's going to get exactly that right now. Tag made. In comes Kenny Omega. And we're seeing more bang for your buck being hit by the Elite here. Moonsault by Omega to finish it all off. Cover on Nakamura here, trying to hand him his first defeat on a SmackDown show, but not to be. Kenny Omega only gets the one count, and now Nakamura's realized who he shares the ring with, and he's going to go right to work on Omega here. Great flip out there by Omega, and just for the sake of it, fires a shot at Cesaro. Omega trying to pick off more enemies than he possibly can manage, but that is how Kenny Omega's kind of gone about his business since arriving in this universe. The likes of CM Punk unnecessarily targeting, but he has sure left his impact on them. Nakamura, though, finally pulling out a reversal there to Omega, and we'll see what he's going to go for. It looks like the landslide, maybe. Has him hopped up in there. Landslide by Nakamura. You could feel a rough landing for the Intercontinental Champion, as Nakamura is not playing soft with Kenny Omega. He's going all out, but a little bit of selflessness there by Nakamura. A tiny bit. He did actually walk like he wanted a little bit more of Kenny Omega, but he makes the tag into Cesaro here, and Cesaro can try to avenge that loss. And look at the disrespect there by Omega. Slapped Cesaro in the face on 2 occasions there. Goes to show how little Kenny Omega thinks about anyone who is not himself, the Elite, or the Bullet Club. And I like it. I do like it. I'll give him credit. But Cesaro, meanwhile, is making the Intercontinental Champion pay for it to take a steel chair to him last week. Omega may need to make a tag back into Nick Jackson here. Look at the strength there that was being demonstrated by Kenny Omega. But a great counter by Cesaro. DDT, and the champ is in trouble. Of course, if Cesaro pins the Intercontinental Champion here, that could really change this whole game. We're on about how Nakamura could be the one getting a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. If Cesaro pins the Omega here in this one, that kind of changes everything around. That makes that adds more questions that we currently can't answer. Irish whip here in the corner goes Cesaro now. Nick Jackson going to be tagged back in. What are we going to see here now? Jackson ready to make a move. Good forearm shot there to Cesaro, and leaps over there with a crossbody. Actually, even a frog splash kind of thing. Cover, but Kenny Omega Almost saying that he wants more to be done before he thinks that you can go for a pinfall there on Cesaro. Makes sense. Oh, what a reversal there to the attempted sliced bread. That was an absolutely fantastic reversal. The pop-up uppercut into the chest. And Cesaro signaling that the end may indeed be on its way. Nick Jackson trying to recover here. What a great counter that one was. Able to get himself out of it there at the last second, but that hasn't gone the way he wanted it to. In the corner, Cesaro though isn't thinking about making the tag in. He's thinking about causing some damage, taking his anger out on Nick Jackson. Look out below. Superplex to the outside. And both men reeling the impacts from that one. Cesaro slow to get up to his feet. Nick Jackson not even responsive yet. Launched back in the ring as if he were nothing. And Omega there though as he goes for the cover, beating Nakamura to the punch and making the save for his fellow Bullet Club member. Look at that, the Bullet Club always looking out for one another. Step up in Zagiri there, countered. And Cesaro going to look for something big here. Double underhook suplex maybe. What a counter by Nick Jackson. Sunset flip here. Come on, ref, get it to counter. Cover your Cesaro, can he put him away with it? Oh no, it's flipped back. Cesaro using his weight to his advantage. And Kenny Omega makes the last minute save there. That could have resulted in huge trouble for the Elite. Look at this now, Nick Jackson in the corner with Shinsuke Nakamura and just toying around with Cesaro there for a little bit. Having his way with him, and it seems as if since that pinfall was broken up, the match has turned back into the favour of the Elite. Oh, what an elbow there. Caught him flush with it. And now Nick Jackson's going to take flight here. Matt Jackson willing them on the outside. And a moonsault is not going to connect on the money. Nick Jackson down on the mat trying to recover here, and here comes the King of Strong Style once more. Nakamura back in the ring here and now ready to have his way with Nick Jackson. Michinoku driver, and he goes right into the cover here trying to put him away, and oh, what a last minute save by Omega. He decked the referee in the process. Referee down, and I don't know for how long. He's not moving right now, but to be fair, neither is Nick Jackson, so the Elite unable to capitalize here. Exploder suplex by Nakamura. We know what's coming next. Or maybe not. Nakamura wants to do a bit more further punishment before he puts this match to bed. Triple knees? Yes, it will be. The third knee in the head there. What a rough string of maneuvers, and you can see there is still just nothing from Nick Jackson. Pulls out of the ring at the last moment, trying to give himself a moment to try and get something back in this matchup. Forearm shots here, but Nakamura hardly dazed by them, to be fair. Here we go now. What's Nick Jackson got in mind? Ducks under here. Needs to think of something quick, and he needs to try and make the tag into Omega as well. If he wants the Elite to win this one. You can see he's exhausted as he went to try and get that tag in, and now what are we going to see? Is it going to be another? It's going to be another more bang for your buck. The agility being possessed here by these men after everything that's been thrown at them. What a hectic opener this has been, a Smackdown. Good moonsault there, and now Omega can look to try and put away the the former Intercontinental Champion, I should say, rather. Oh, but Nakamura's going to make sure that's not going to happen. Kinshasa with 1, 2, and 3. Nakamura pins Omega to boot to make things a little more sore for the new Intercontinental Champion. Nakamura gets a measure of revenge for what transpired at SummerSlam, but we know that the dust will not be settled until Nakamura can have an opportunity to get that Intercontinental Championship back around his waist. Cesaro proved that he was a very problematic element in this matchup and a great asset to the match as well. And I think this may have put Cesaro in the favors of the SmackDown committee with a performance like that one. What a way that was to kick things off on SmackDown. High octane tag team action, and Kenny Omega takes the pinfall as well. Really makes you think When is it going to be announced that we're going to see Omega Nakamura 3? That should be a great matchup once more between two great competitors. So there we go. Great stuff to get us underway on SmackDown. And we're going to continue on here. Coming up next, looking like another great wrestling matchup. Tyson Kidd against Jay Lethal. Well, after that, like I said, after that great opener, we're in for another great matchup as well. And this one I'm looking forward to. Jay Lethal, high off the victory last week over Nick Jackson, looks to continue it on here with a win over a former world champion to boot in Tyson Kidd. Kidd's record. Hang on, someone threw this. It's Rusev. What the hell? That's the Bulgarian brute doing here, going after Jay Lethal. Lethal trying to stand up for himself there, but Rusev having none of it, spoiling the party here and crashing this matchup. I don't know what Rusev's deal is, but clearly he's got some kind of business to go after the self-proclaimed greatest first-generation wrestler that ever lived, and Lethal will go right back at him here, lighting up Rusev's chest with chops. Oh, but Rusev now having his way, the muscle mass overpowering Jay Lethal here and flooring him down on the steel ramp. I don't know what Rusev's problem is, but clearly he's got some kind of issue with Jay Lethal right now. I don't know what's going on here. These two men are just brawling their way down the ramp. Clearly they want something to do with the ring. Rusev perhaps wanted to send his message in front of everyone so everyone can see it, but Lethal's going to fight back here. Going to try and make Rusev regret what he did, but there's the strength of Rusev now, belly to belly. Jay Lethal down, and Rusev spoils the party. Well, I have no idea what Rusev's deal was there, playing spoiler, and it was going to be an entertaining matchup, targeting Jay Lethal as well. Jay Lethal made it up to his feet and made it to the back, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the deal was with that one, unless that was something that maybe Rusev needed to do to get attention to him. Maybe Lana perhaps leading the way on the charge of that one, telling Rusev what he needs to do, but I'm not too sure. I mean, hopefully we'll get some answers soon, but we'll have to turn our attention away from that one and towards this one. Roman Reigns going to go one-on-one with Kota Ibushi. A little bit of an unfair matchup, to be fair. But I know it sounds like one on paper, but if you go off of what happened last week, it was an upset, a huge upset win for Future Shock when Ricochet and Ibushi pinned Reigns and Henry in that tag team matchup. I believe it was Roman Reigns who took the fall as well, so he is not best pleased about it. He wants to rectify that loss here tonight. He's going to do it by going one-on-one with Ibushi to try and make him pay for that defeat. Reigns being accompanied, as you can see, by his tag team partner, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Paul Heyman currently nowhere to be seen at the side of these two men as the chaos ensues in the main event in regards to Bobby Fish, and of course in what could be Bobby Fish's last night on the SmackDown brand. But Roman Reigns and Mark Henry don't look to be too worried. Usually the bodyguards of Bobby Fish, but they're not showing it. They're showing they're focused on their own business right now, and I think that business for Roman Reigns is trying to become a 3-time tag team champion. And of course if they can get through one half of Future Shock here tonight, then maybe a tag team rematch and maybe a match down the line with the former champions, the Revival, can set the Dangerous Alliance on the path that they need to get those titles back. But here is going to come Kota Ibushi. The crowd on their feet as he is about to head towards the ring. Oh, never mind. It's a amped up, if ever I've seen one, Kevin Owens. Owens has found a new level of energy within him, apparently. That's what we're seeing here as he leads forth his This is something I really can't take seriously. Kevin Owens clearly showing how proud he is of the victory that Ibushi and Ricochet sustained last week over the Dangerous Alliance, and yeah, I don't really know what to say about what we're seeing here, but Reigns doesn't look too pleased about it. He's gonna try and spoil the party here and go right after Ibushi. Sent him, well, Acton basically knocked him off that top rope to the outside. He wasn't one for the fun and games that Ibushi and Kevin Owens were having, and now it's time to get serious. This match is underway. Here we go between these two men. Kota Ibushi with a great opportunity here to prove that he can hang with the best of the best. He's not going to let his weight, the weight deduction, I guess. No, I don't know what the correct term is I'm thinking of here. The weight advantage, there we go, that Roman Reigns has over him. He's not going to let that hold him back, and he's going to give it his all here, as they did last week to secure the victory. Ibushi sends him down. And it's interesting that Kevin Owens is at ringside, because of course it was like 2 weeks ago, I believe, somewhere along those lines, where Owens, of course, made Ibushi take the punishment for Future Shock's failings. Now here he is accompanying him to ringside tonight to try and spur him on to victory, but it's going to be a tough order against Reigns. One-on-one, one of the toughest competitors you could probably come up against. He's proven it, a former United States champion in the past, and his success that he's found in tag team wrestling when he has to go in the ring on his own as well. Try and protect what he calls, of course, his yard. He does a good job at it, to be fair. And he's going to try and do the same here to Kota Ibushi here tonight. Give him some problems to deal with. And make sure that he gets across the point that last week was just pure luck for Future Shock. Drop kick there. Reigns throws him to the side. And oh, there's a throat chop. Essentially. And that's going to send him down to the mat. Ibushi in a little bit of trouble now as Roman Reigns uses his power to his advantage here. See what Kevin Owens has been able to teach this man. Let's see if he's been able to use it to his success. But the power of Roman Reigns just proving too much in the moment right now. But Ibushi, though, finally able to counter. Sweeps the other leg of Roman Reigns. And now look at there. Mark Henry proving the distraction. Ibushi fell for the trap. Well sprung by the Dangerous Alliance. The Superman punch connected. And the spear that follows up by Reigns. He didn't get it last week, but he sure as hell connected with it on Ibushi tonight. Reigns into the cover. Doesn't bother to hook the leg. Doesn't bother to give Ibushi that level of respect. And Ibushi throws it back in his face. He kicks at it too. And an opportunity there that was so well presented to put this one to bed. Hurricane Rana. Oh my god, look at the strength of Reigns there. Into a power bomb. That was some great strength being executed and being shown by Roman Reigns at the last moment. And Kota Ibushi is in an absolute world of trouble. Maybe Kevin Owens should have tried to step up to the plate and stand for his team here tonight to stop this from happening. But Ibushi once more sweeps the leg. And Ibushi going to look for that powerbomb of his. If he can powerbomb Roman Reigns, that would be something incredible. He's going to go for it. He lifts Reigns up on his shoulders. And he connects with it. Dead center, middle of the ring. Sit out powerbomb. Ibushi jumps into the cover here with 1, 2, and no, Reigns kicks out. And Ibushi looking at both the ref and Kevin Owens and asking, really, was that really a 2 count? Referee says yes, of course, and referee's decision is final at the end of the day. It's fight back here now by Ibushi. Giving it to Roman Reigns. Super kick there. A corkscrew moonsault as well, akin to the Cruiserweight champion Neville. Roman Reigns in huge trouble right now. Perhaps they may need the trap to be sprung again by Mark Henry. Reigns is almost down and out on the mat right now. Oh no, he pulls out the reversal. Said he had played enough possum in this one. Ibushi has him though in a front facelock right now, able to exert some power there over Roman Reigns, but is quickly countered. Slams him down on his face. This has been a very energetic matchup. Well heated between these two men. Reigns now, is he going to show his strength with a powerbomb? Got him up here in a kind of a Celtic cross, and into the sit-down power bomb. There it is, and Roman Reigns still can't put away Ibushi. Just finds the strength within him to kick out at the last moment there, and he's in the ropes for that one as well. Roman Reigns now questioning what he has to do to try and put Ibushi away here. If there's one thing Kevin Owens seems to be teaching these guys, it is a hell of a lot of resiliency. In the turnbuckle now, this one looks like it could end badly for Reigns. Perched up high, not where you want to be at all, but Reigns pulls out the reversal. And a double axe handle, countered. Oh, what a backbreaker there. Randy Orton-esque by Kota Ibushi, and he goes for another cover here, but I think that that bulletproof vest that Reigns is wearing, not just the vest really, I don't think it's bulletproof, but we'll go along with it. Well, you know, that probably protected him. Corkscrew moonsault anyway by Ibushi, and he goes into yet another cover here. Reigns in yet more trouble, and he kicks out though. Very late too. Mark Henry not doing anything right now to try and support his tag team partner, which I find very surprising. To be fair, he probably expected this to be a much easier walk in the park than what it has turned out to be. Ibushi has been giving Roman Reigns a hell of a lot of trouble in this one. The former Cruiserweight champion proving 100% that he is no slouch, that he is no pushover. Knee in the gut there by Reigns, and a pretty vicious one at that. Ibushi now. What will he look for? Oh, an arm drag. Okay, simple but effective. He's going to go for that powerbomb again now. Reigns could be in trouble once more. No, he's having none of it this time round. Pulls out the counter. And Ibushi looking like he's in trouble here. Up in the air. Oh, Superman punch by Reigns. Lifted him way up in the air and caught him on the way down. Ibushi skidding across the mat from the effect of that Superman punch. And this one still isn't over. He kicks at it too, and Reigns is voicing his frustration at the refereeing now, believing that should have been a 3 and this one should be over. Ibushi, great rollout, great way to roll out of the way there, but Roman Reigns does a very quick job to counter. Forearm shot right in the back of the head, trying to put this one to rest. No matter how hard he tries, he seems unable to do it. And a roll up here, of all things, on Ibushi. Rolls him up, and Ibushi still kicks out. Life is not going the way Roman Reigns wanted it right now. Ibushi making it a very difficult job for him. Drop kick, bats it away. Stiff strikes there by Reigns, and he goes from behind now and got him by the groin of all things. Look at the way he's following through here with this suplex combo. Not looking good. It's like he's almost launching Ibushi around the ring, and he certainly did so on that last one. A crash landing for Kota Ibushi. But what more can Roman Reigns do to put this one to bed? Superman punch. He can nail a third one. He can bust open Ibushi, and Owens can only watch on as Kota Ibushi still continues to fight. What is this man made of? There's one thing that has to be taken away from this, is you've got to respect the ability of this man. You've got to respect the ability of Kota Ibushi, but he's caught with a spear by Reigns. Look at that, perfectly timed there, ducked under and jumped right into him with the spear. Right into the cover now by Reigns to put this one to bed for good. And it's over, finally. Kota Ibushi fought on until he couldn't anymore. Roman Reigns gets a measure of revenge for last week. Kevin Owens does not seem too pleased about it on the outside, but Roman Reigns certainly seems very happy about the job well done in the ring. Roman Reigns certainly getting very close there to Kevin Owens, almost gloating the victory without looking into the man's eyes. Roman Reigns proud of what he achieved here tonight, but Kota Ibushi, despite the near probably 100-pound weight deficit, gave it his all. Gave Roman Reigns a run for his money, and damn near looked like he was about to defeat Roman Reigns and dent the Roman Empire, but just not to be. Maybe we'll see Kevin Owens back in the ring very soon, and I would hope to see them two collide in what will be a very entertaining matchup. Anyway, coming up next, not to do with these two men, but is to do with another veteran of this universe, and a great man. Up next, we will hear from CM Punk in regards to his Smackdown future and what is next for the self-proclaimed best in the world. I'm excited to see what Punk has to say. Been a while since we saw this man, and certainly been a while since we heard from him as well. Let's see what CM Punk has to say up next. Here he comes towards the ring, CM Punk. Well, look at the reaction as well. To be fair, from the SmackDown crowd, up on their feet, a lot of applause coming for Punk as well. And I'm not too sure why. It's not as if Punk has proclaimed that he's going to be retiring anytime soon, but clearly CM Punk has a few things that he wants to say and has something he wants to deal with. Getting in the ring now and amping up the SmackDown crowd a little more as he says what he wants to say. Let's give Punk the courtesy and find out what the man himself wants to talk about. And yeah, he's right, to be fair. It has been a less than incredible return for CM Punk. His shock return at the Royal Rumble and the fizzle kind of died away. And to be fair, Punk is true. There's only one man to blame, and that is himself. But Punk says it is not all about him on SmackDown. He's well aware of that. It's about the incredible talent, the likes of Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, even his old rival Kenny Omega, and certainly the WWE Champion Kyle O'Reilly. But there is one man the Punk has heard too much about and not seen any action from. Who could Punk be talking about here? Oh, that's who he's talking about. Punk calling out none other than the Beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. Talking about how he's supposed to be all fearsome and how we're supposed to be afraid of Brock Lesnar, but the man is never around to impose it. The man hides away like a coward from the likes of CM Punk. And there's Punk finishing his statement off with a stern, well, almost a challenge, a call out to Brock. He's here in this ring. He's always here on SmackDown. If ever he has something that if ever he wants to prove that he's the Beast, then prove it to the best. Brock Lesnar, it's your move now. CM Punk has started this game of human chess with the Beast. And if that is one way to prove that you are not done with your career, if that is one way to prove that you still want to prove that you have a lot of fight left in you, going after none other than Brock Lesnar will achieve that. Punk certainly just reignited himself here tonight. There are some fights that you talk about and you think about how big that match could be. Well, that is certainly the case for that one. If it were to come around, if it were to be created, the Beast and the Best colliding. Oh, what a fight that would be. SmackDown proving the depth in their roster. And imagine, with no titles on the line as well, you could still head in with that being one of, if not the biggest match at your pay-per-view. Just a few weeks from now, we'll have to wait and see. We're waiting on Brock's move next, of course, and we'll see if we'll actually see the Beast incarnate. We haven't seen him since Money in the Bank. Over a month ago now, since he lost to Bobby Fish. But we move on here to this next contest. Ivory, who picked up the win last week, of course, over Trish Stratus, looking to continue on her winning streak here and her quest to try and be an unexpected challenger for the SmackDown Women's Championship. But to do that, she's got to go through a woman who has fought for that title before, fought for the right to try and be champion, none other than Bayley. A woman who, in her home state, will be looking to try and pick up a big win here tonight and look to prove that Ivory cannot handle with the, well, I suppose the upper echelon of the SmackDown Women's Division, but Ivory going on the attacking front here to prove it. Bayley taking a little bit of back here by Ivory's tactics, but she has ran straight in at her. And Bayley going to fight back here. Bayley going to show that it was a bit of a mistake, but oh, bulldogged onto the steel steel ramp. I've already seen Rusev do this earlier in the night, but of course this is still a match to go on here. These two women are just brawling on the outside right now. Still got to get in the ring. We've still got to ring the bell here. I suppose you shouldn't interrupt Bayley during an entrance in her home state. Not far away, of course, from her hometown as well, to boot. But Ivory clearly not wanting to wait around. She was ready to fight, and she is proving that she's got that fight right now. Her and Bayley just having a bit of a knockout brawl on the outside right now. Referee trying to get them in the ring, trying to do his best here to start this match. And finally, we're underway here. Here we go. Let's get this one into business. Bayley unloading away there with strikes onto Ivory. Ducks under there, and oh, super kick though by Ivory. Clattered Bayley sending her down to the mat. But Bayley responds right away, popping up with a big drop kick there. Look at the counter though by Ivory. Hard shots in the face. And that is looking like a dangerous move here. Oh, took a lot of time to go for that slam there. Held Bayley up and now literally holding Bayley up. Stopping the count there just to rub it into Bayley really. Good counter though there by the leader of the Hugger Nation. Pulls out a jawbreaker there and a backbreaker as well for good measure. Bayley going to hit up the top rope here. Nice splash. Bayley takes a little too long maybe to jump into the cover, but she's going to try and put this one away. Not to be, only a 1 count. Here we go, Bayley now firing away with yet more hard strikes to Ivory. Michinoku driver. She goes into the cover here, trying to put away Ivory once more. The fight that Ivory showed right at the start has kind of fizzled away for a moment. It's now turned into Bayley's matchup a little bit more here. Nope, there's the counter by Ivory. And oh! Shoulder tackling her right to the outside there. Ivory showing her dominance right now and showing her strength maybe as she tries to turn this match back around in her favor. What a leg drop there across the throat maybe of Bayley. Look at the fight she's giving here, but look at the athleticism of Bayley there to pull out that enziguri. Very well done there by Bayley. And she is not giving in here. She perhaps is the one who believes that she's next in line for the Smackdown Women's title. Corner in the corner there with that exploder suplex. Ivory in huge trouble. Cover here by Bayley to put this one to rest. No, Ivory able to kick out. Well, she definitely needs to turn this match around quickly here. Bayley proving why she is in kind of the high echelon of SmackDown Women's talent and why Ivory's knocking on the door for it. But here we go. Poison Ivory. What a sudden change there by Ivory into the cover. And she steals one. She steals a huge win for herself. Ivory just notched another big win. This time over Bayley to boot. Is there any stopping her right now? Ivory proving that you shouldn't overlook her just because she isn't a big name, just because she doesn't have a huge fan following to her. Another win for her there. Tell me, I think one more over another huge talent in the women's division, i.e. Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, hell even Nia Jax if she could pull that out, and I think we may have a new #1 contender. We'll see, but big win there for Ivory. But yeah, kind of took it by surprise, taken by surprise by that one. But you want to talk about big, you want to talk about big matches, you want to talk about big wins. SummerSlam was the biggest night of Kyle O'Reilly's career and the worst of Bobby Fish's. But here tonight in your main event, the SummerSlam rematch for the WWE Championship, O'Reilly heads in for his first title defense. Bobby Fish looks to make it his last, and Fish has said if he's unable to win the title here, he will leave the SmackDown brand effective immediately. A huge rivalry between these two men, one that has lasted now for nearly 2 years and could well come to an end here tonight for your main event. Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, WWE Championship on the line. Let's get to it. Well, here he comes, the former WWE Champion, and what a weird sight that is, to be fair. The sight of Bobby Fish without a championship around his waist. I would like to remind you, for about 20 months, I think it was, maybe 19 months, Bobby Fish walked around with a belt around his waist, whether it was the Intercontinental Championship, the WWE Championship, or both at the same time. Bobby Fish walked around with those belts. And now here tonight, he comes into his first match since losing the title with none. And it is such a weird sight to see for the first time in a long time. But Fish stands in the ring, and he's got to be the one to wait for the champion to walk towards it. Kyle O'Reilly ready here to go to battle once more with his arch rival, once more for what could be the final time as well. Fish may have the more wins, but it's all about who gets the last say. And tonight, Kyle O'Reilly could well have the last say, could well have and deal the final blow to Bobby Fish's SmackDown career. This is going to be incredible, to say the least. Their match at SummerSlam was something you could only say is spectacular. And now here tonight on SmackDown, they're going to give away another huge main event. And giving away what could be Bobby Fish's final match on the SmackDown roster. Just the thought of that is enough to really make you think about how big this match is. Well, here he is, the challenger. Fish, I don't think with his eyes on O'Reilly, but his eyes on the title. The championship, of course, that he held for over 12 months. Championship that he survived a full calendar year with. And it's in the possession of the man he betrayed in order to go and get it. Kyle O'Reilly, with his eyes locked in anger and determination there to Bobby Fish, and just reminding him, just for good measure, who the champion really is in this one. O'Reilly hands the belt off to Bobby Fish, to the ref. But will it be the last time ever? Is he practically handing it back to Bobby Fish? Or is Bobby Fish about to stare at the title for the last time and prepare to kiss it goodbye? For good. We'll find out. The main event of SummerSlam gets a rematch here tonight. Gets another round added to it. And SmackDown is alive for this one. O'Reilly explodes out of the block first with hard strikes to Bobby Fish. But the former champion counters it quickly. Backstabber there. And you want to talk about personal feuds in this universe. You want to talk about feuds where the both men have hated each other throughout the entire way. You've got to think about iconic feuds in this universe. I think not only is this up there, but at this point it may well top any other feud we've seen in this universe. It may well top the likes of Cesaro and Barrett, ECW and the NWO, Rollins, DDP. Because while those feuds went on for a long time, and while there was a lot of heat and a lot of hatred in it, this one has gone on for nearly 2 years, and the hatred that both men have for one another is still as strong as it was on the very first day. And that's what makes it so special to witness. Fisher going to go up to the top rope. Took too long there, and O'Reilly knew how to get his way out of that somewhat show-offy double axe handle attempt. Michinoku driver once more, seeing it here tonight by someone. And Bobby Fish is resorting to more underhanded tactics there to try and gain an advantage. Raking the eyes or raking the nose, one of the two of Kyle O'Reilly, and O'Reilly makes him pay. Those hard knees into the back and a reverse DDT to add to it. O'Reilly now going to go back to the strikes here on Bobby Fish. And oh, that's one hell of a strike. Double knee face buster. Fish goes down. O'Reilly trying to get him off a SmackDown for good here with a cover after it. But surprise, surprise, it is only a 1 count. You're not gonna. I seriously don't think this match will have much slow-paced offense in it. Fish likes to wrestle his slow style. But with so much to try and gain in this match, and with so much to lose as well, he's going to do his best to make sure that he can win it, and win it emphatically. Fish going to send O'Reilly into the corner here, going to look for something big. This is looking troublesome for O'Reilly. He's in big trouble here. Fish has something in mind. Going to take him up to the top rope here. Bobby Fish in place. Top rope, fisherman superplex. O'Reilly goes down. O'Reilly in trouble here. Is this where the title changes hands? So very nearly there. Late 2 count. O'Reilly used up all of the count possible to try and hang on. And Fish now will look to strike to put this to bed, to stay on SmackDown. Fish hook missed. O'Reilly moves out of the way. What a counter there by O'Reilly. And now he's going to try and roll up Bobby Fish, sending him away with a roll-up maybe. There's 2. No. He kicks out. That close to having him gone for good though. The crowd are on their feet right now to witness this one. These two men just absolutely detest one another, and they are proving it right now. Pop-up Meteora there, into the cover by O'Reilly, trying to do everything to put Fish away, but Fish is obviously going to fight on. So much on the line here. Good kicks there by by Kyle O'Reilly. What's O'Reilly going to do here? Oh, he's going to do, I think, what he did at SummerSlam. Not a suicide dive, but rather just launching himself onto Bobby Fish. His entire body weight, as he jumps through the ropes there, comes crashing down on Fish. And he feels the full impact of it. But O'Reilly is not done here, it seems. Still a little more to do with Fish on the outside. Getting a little bit more of a brawl between these two men now. Sends him down with the uppercut. And oh, he's taking apart the announce table now. Count still to follow. There's no special stipulation of this matchup. Doesn't seem as if O'Reilly cares too much right now. Just wants to leave his mark on Bobby Fish, as Bobby Fish has done so almost for the last 2 years, always having the upper hand on Kyle O'Reilly. Bobby Fish finally gets back into the ring there at a count of 9. Made sure he used up all of that count to his advantage. Has him spun around now. Dragon suplex. But Kyle O'Reilly, being the master that he is of technical wrestling, able to counter his way out of it. These two men, of course, know each other so well, not because of their numerous battles, but of course the past of Red Dragon. And it continues on here. Hurricanrana, 2 count there. Very nearly put him away. O'Reilly just trying to think of whatever he can to send Fish away from SmackDown. Kyle O'Reilly in the corner now. Exploder suplex. And a gorgeous one at that. You see, he's not going for covers as often now. He's just trying to go for that one pin, I think, that he knows will put away this match for good. Oh, what a neck breaker there. But look at how that one changed hands. He's the one down, and Fish was able to play a little bit of possum. Fish going after the arm. That's tactical. That stops the cross arm breaker from being locked in, and it makes it a lot difficult to hit chasing the dragon as well. Here's the comeback now by Fish. Tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Pinpoint precision by the former champion. O'Reilly, though, pulls out the reversal. And look at the strength of him there. Deadlift belly to belly. Throwing him overhead as if he were nothing. And here goes O'Reilly now. He's looking to explode away here with a couple of strikes. Gonna take it to Fish. The hard-hitting hatred between these two men. It showed itself off at SummerSlam, and it's showing itself off here once again. Cover by O'Reilly. Will he put Fish away with it? No, he won't. Fish kicks out. Only just got his shoulder up, but he played it tactical there. He played it safe to guarantee that he wouldn't have to exert much energy. Big DDT there. And Fish right now gets to have his way with O'Reilly down on the mat. No, he doesn't. Great counter there by O'Reilly. But what will he look for next? What will he try and do now? He won the WWE Championship off of a counter. It was moving out of the way of an elbow drop that won him the title with the follow-up chasing the dragon. Looking like he may look to try and do it again here, and that's why Fish has done a very good job of not being on the top rope. It was the top rope that cost him the title, and he stayed off of it, keeping it close quarters with O'Reilly, but with the hard shots that O'Reilly's known for. Is that something that Fish can afford to do? Great counter there by Fish once more. And now as the fatigue starts to set in this one, you can tell a little bit slower to act. Fish though going to go for it. He's going to look for it. Will he get it? Fish hooked to O'Reilly. Is that the title back around Fish's waist? Into the cover. 1. Wow. No, it's not. We saw it at SummerSlam, and we see it here again. O'Reilly kicks at it too. And Fish is now starting to get desperate. He makes a little error there. And O'Reilly may try and make lightning strike twice. But chasing the dragon's reversed. What a great move there by Fish. Capitalizing in the very last moment there. And O'Reilly exploding away there with a combination of moves. Cannonball in the corner. And once more, no, I was about to say once more, Fish may be in trouble, but that's a very quick counter to change things around in his favour. What's Fish going to go for now? Off the second rope on the busted open O'Reilly. It's a head scissors, a reverse head scissors. But look at how O'Reilly's able to counter there and able to fight on. Fish, though, doing exactly the same. Incredible to witness between these two men. Turns him round. Kyle O'Reilly going to look for that explosive suplex of his. Locks the leg in and nails it. Can he put away Fish with it? There's two and so nearly three. Inches away from Bobby Fish being gone there. From the Smackdown brand. Counters the attempted kick there by Bobby Fish. Did a very good job being able to counter it so quickly as well. Fish now seats him down. And just digging his knee into the open wound. Trying to make it. Oh no. If he gets this one, this could be it. If he hits this one, this could be over for good. Fish hook. He moves out of the way. He moves out of the way again. This is O'Reilly's moment now. Exploder suplex. Nails it. And O'Reilly's feeling it. Counters the Fish hook. To seal the deal. To put him away. Chasing the Dragon. Are we looking at a repeat of SummerSlam right here tonight? The cover. 1, 2, 3. Oh! So close. So close. And now both men bleed in this one. Both men busted open. Just to show how personal this one is between two bitter rivals. Going until the very end. Michinoku driver. O'Reilly will kick out of that one early on. But Fish will continue to fight here and continue to take it to Kyle O'Reilly. Anything to get that title of his back. And you can see the exhaustion of Fish there. Almost leaning as he tries to send O'Reilly up to the top rope. He pays for it. O'Reilly counters. Double axe handle. And O'Reilly now. Is this his moment to capitalize maybe? No, it's not. Fish pulls out the reversal. And Fish now has him up on his shoulders. Thought he might have been going for the fireman's carry into the Fish hook. But it's the 8-second ride. And with everything that's gone on in this match, you can tell that's going to feel much worse than what it would have at the start. Fish lifts him up to his feet. Sends him into the turnbuckle. Yes, he does. And Fish, once again, desperation, trying to get him up on the top rope here. Trying to put O'Reilly into that top rope. Fisherman suplex again, maybe. No, he's got the arm. Looking for an arm drag, maybe. But O'Reilly pulls off a counter. Headbutt there into the open wound. Sent on for good measure. Great counter by O'Reilly. But how much does he have left to give? And how much did Fish... How much is he able to take? The kicks now by O'Reilly unloading away on Fish. And look at how quick he is to act. No waiting around, no catching his breath. He's right into it again. Right in for another one. Chasing the Dragon again. Took a moment there to recover. Into the pin. Is Fish gone for good? He is! He is gone! Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know how to react to this one. SummerSlam was the biggest shock I've seen in a while, but Kyle O'Reilly does it again, retains the WWE title, and to make matters worse for Bobby Fish, not only has his arch rival beat him once more, but from now on Bobby Fish, through his own word of course, has officially left the Smackdown roster. He is no longer on here. Bobby Fish is gone. Bobby Fish, I think, is officially the hottest free agent in this universe. But Kyle O'Reilly, he just retained his title. Wow. Wow. I'm stunned. What a main event that was. What an incredible match that was between both men. But Kyle O'Reilly walks out on top. And Bobby Fish will say goodbye to SmackDown for good. What does this mean for next week? I don't know, but be sure to tune in for SmackDown next week. Clearly, a whole lot of development still to go on. That'll end this episode of Universe. So long, Bobby Fish, I guess, from SmackDown. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys. And Sarah.